I'm grateful you joined tonight. Your brain is solving problems right now while you rest, reorganizing memories, testing solutions, finding patterns you couldn't see while awake. Tonight, you'll discover why your subconscious is your most powerful problem solver. And by the end, you'll understand why the best answers come after you stop searching. Welcome to Psychology for Sleep. Even now, perhaps lying in bed, wondering about questions that troubled you all day, or simply noticing how thoughts drift more freely when you're tired, allow yourself to rest in this mental quietness. We'll journey through 100 psychology facts about the sleeping mind's hidden genius. From neural networks that wake while you rest, to dreams that rehearse tomorrow's challenges, to the moment consciousness discovers what the subconscious already knows. This thoughtful journey through consciousness builds bridges between searching minds. A gentle subscribe, like or sharing your thoughts creates a pathway for more sleep seekers to discover and brings us closer to protect this sanctuary. One sleepy soul at a time. Your journey inspires ours. Let yourself settle completely here. Feel your jaw unclench. Your breath deepen naturally. You can let these thoughts drift past without holding them. Sense that soothing heaviness enveloping you, like your consciousness slowly dimming its brightness, thoughts dissolving into the peaceful fog of approaching sleep. Safe and undisturbed. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. You're floating where memories rest safely in gentle darkness. Let your mind merge with infinite peace. And now we begin. Your brain never truly sleeps, even when you do. While you rest peacefully through the night, your brain remains notably active, cycling through distinct stages of sleep, each with its own electrical signature and specific purpose. During the deepest stages of sleep, your brain waves slow to about 1 cycle per second, what scientists call delta waves. Yet even in this state, your neurons continue firing in coordinated patterns. Research published in Nature and Science of Sleep in 2025 confirms that this apparent rest is actually when your brain performs some of its most essential work. It consolidates memories, clears metabolic waste through the glymphatic system, and processes emotional experiences from your day. Your sleeping brain is not passive or dormant. It's actively reorganizing, repairing, and preparing you for tomorrow. Sleep is not an absence of activity, but a different kind of consciousness altogether. Scientists once believed sleep was simply the brain powering down for maintenance, like a computer going into standby mode. This old understanding viewed sleep as passive recovery time, nothing more. But modern neuroscience has completely revolutionized this view. Studies using advanced brain imaging technology, functional MRI, and intracranial electroencephalography reveal that during certain sleep stages, your brain can be even more active than when you're awake. A 2024 study from Northwestern University showed that specific brain regions light up with intense activity during REM sleep, processing information in ways impossible during waking hours. Your brain doesn't just maintain itself during sleep. It actively works on problems, integrates new learning with old knowledge, and discovers connections between seemingly unrelated ideas. The old model of sleep as downtime has been replaced by sleep as transformation time. Every night, your brain moves through approximately 4 to 6 sleep cycles, each lasting about 90 minutes. Within each cycle, you pass through multiple stages with wonderfully descriptive names: N1, N2, N3, and REM. N1 is the lightest stage, that drowsy transition when you're just drifting off and easily awakened by small sounds. N2 occupies about half your total sleep time, during which your body temperature drops and your heart rate slows. N3 is deep sleep, also called slow wave sleep, when delta waves dominate your brain's electrical activity. And then comes REM, rapid eye movement sleep, when your eyes dart back and forth beneath closed lids and dreams become most vivid. Each stage serves distinct functions in the process of solving problems your waking mind couldn't crack. The architecture of sleep is precisely organized for discovery. During deep N3 sleep, your brain waves slow considerably to those delta rhythms. Long, rolling waves that sweep across your cortex like ocean swells. These slow oscillations, occurring at about 0.5 to 2 cycles per second, are crucial for memory consolidation. Research from Harvard Medical School in 2024 found that during these slow waves, your hippocampus, the brain's memory center, replays experiences from your day at high speed, transferring them to your cortex for long-term storage. It's as if your brain is taking temporary files and moving them into permanent archives. This process happens specifically during deep sleep, not during wakefulness or REM sleep. The slow, rhythmic waves create ideal conditions for your brain to sort through the day's experiences, deciding what to keep, what to discard, and where to file meaningful information. REM sleep occupies about 20 to 25% of your total sleep time, becoming longer and more frequent as the night progresses. Your first REM period might last only 5 or 10 minutes, occurring about 90 minutes after you fall asleep. But by morning, you might spend 30 or even 40 minutes in a single REM period. During REM, something fascinating happens. Your brain becomes nearly as active as during full wakefulness, yet your body enters a state of temporary paralysis called atonia. This paralysis prevents you from acting out your dreams, a safety mechanism that evolved to keep you from injury. Meanwhile, your brain fires intensely, making unexpected connections between distant memories and ideas. REM is when creativity blooms and novel solutions emerge from seemingly nowhere. Your sleeping brain uses about 20% of your body's total energy, nearly the same as when you're awake and thinking hard. This fact surprises many people who assume sleep conserves energy. While it's true that some bodily systems slow down during sleep, your heart rate drops, your metabolism decreases, your brain remains a power-hungry organ throughout the night. A 2024 study in the journal Brain confirmed that neural activity during sleep requires substantial glucose and oxygen. This energy fuels the complex processes of memory consolidation, emotional processing, and problem-solving that occur during sleep. Your brain doesn't rest to save energy. It uses energy differently, directing resources toward maintenance and reorganization rather than processing external stimuli. The sleeping brain is working hard behind closed eyes. The boundary between sleep and wakefulness isn't as sharp as it seems. Modern research reveals that parts of your brain can be asleep while other parts remain awake, a phenomenon called local sleep. Italian neuroscientists discovered this in 2024 by studying people who were severely sleep deprived. After staying awake too long, certain brain regions would briefly go offline, even while the person remained conscious and performing tasks. Similarly, during the transition into sleep, your brain doesn't shut down all at once. Different regions fall asleep at different times, creating that strange twilight state where you're not quite awake but not fully asleep either. Your conscious and subconscious minds overlap more than we once believed. The line between them blurs during sleep's entrance. Your subconscious mind has access to information your conscious mind cannot reach. During wakefulness, your prefrontal cortex, the brain's executive control center, filters and limits which thoughts enter awareness, focusing attention on immediate tasks and goals. But during sleep, particularly during REM, activity in the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex decreases significantly. Specifically, the dorsolateral region responsible for logical control and decision-making shows reduced activity, while other prefrontal areas involved in self-reflection remain engaged. This creates what researchers call relaxed attention. Without the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex strictly monitoring what you think about, your sleeping brain can freely associate between distant concepts, pulling up forgotten memories and making unusual connections. A 2025 study from MIT found that this relaxed state allows your brain to access implicit knowledge, information you've absorbed but never consciously processed. Your subconscious knows more than your waking mind realizes. Sleep grants access to this hidden library. Memory consolidation isn't simply transferring information from short-term to long-term storage, like copying files from one folder to another. It's an active transformation process. During sleep, your brain doesn't just preserve memories, it reorganizes them, extracting essential patterns and integrating new experiences with existing knowledge networks. Recent research published in Communications Biology in 2025 demonstrated that both slow-wave sleep and REM contribute to emotional memory consolidation. During this process, memories aren't just stored. They're edited, refined, and sometimes even combined with other memories to create new insights. Your sleeping brain acts more like an editor than an archivist. It rewrites your memories in ways that make them more useful for future problem-solving and decision-making. So yes, your subconscious is already changing how you understand problems. While you've been listening, drifting towards sleep, your brain has been processing these facts differently than it would during full wakefulness. The relaxed state you're in now, somewhere between alert attention and drowsy rest, allows information to sink deeper into your neural networks. Scientists call this state alpha frequency dominance, when your brainwaves slow to about 8 to 12 cycles per second. In this state, you're more receptive to new ideas and less resistant to unconventional connections. Your problem-solving abilities aren't diminishing as you grow sleepy. They're shifting modes, preparing to engage your subconscious processing systems. The drowsiness you might feel isn't weakness, it's readiness. Your mind is opening to deeper understanding. During REM sleep, your brain creates what neuroscientists call remote associations, connections between concepts that seem completely unrelated during waking hours. Imagine your memory as a vast network of nodes, each representing a concept, experience, or piece of information. During focused waking thought, you tend to move between closely connected nodes: logical, step-by-step thinking. But during REM sleep, your brain makes leaps between distant nodes that normally wouldn't interact. A 2024 study in Nature Reviews Neuroscience found that this process underlies creative insight and problem-solving breakthroughs. The sleeping brain doesn't follow logical paths. It jumps across chasms of meaning, finding bridges your conscious mind would never attempt to cross. This is why solutions often feel sudden and unexpected. They arrive from unexpected neural neighborhoods. Your hippocampus, a seahorse-shaped structure deep in your brain's temporal lobes, acts as a temporary storage facility for new memories. Throughout your day, experiences are held in the hippocampus, waiting to be processed. Then, during deep sleep, something intriguing happens. Your hippocampus replays these experiences at incredibly high speed, sometimes up to 20 times faster than they originally happened. Recordings of individual neurons in sleeping mice, published in Science Advances in 2024, captured this replay in exquisite detail. As memories replay, they're gradually transferred to your neocortex, the outer layer of your brain, where they integrate with your vast store of existing knowledge. This dialogue between hippocampus and cortex during sleep creates lasting understanding from temporary impressions. Sleep spindles are brief bursts of brain activity that look like little tornadoes on an EEG recording. Rapid oscillations at about 12 to 16 cycles per second, lasting just a second or two. These spindles occur hundreds of times each night during N2 sleep, and they play a crucial role in learning and memory. A 2025 study in the Journal of Neuroscience found that the number and strength of sleep spindles directly correlate with how well people solve problems the next day. These spindles appear to protect memories from interference and help integrate new information with old. They're like staples, binding new experiences into your existing framework of understanding. Your sleeping brain constantly fires these tiny bursts of activity. Sharp wave ripples are another type of brain oscillation that occurs during deep sleep. Extraordinarily rapid bursts of neural activity at about 100 to 200 cycles per second, lasting only 50 to 100 milliseconds. Despite their brevity, these ripples are powerfully linked to memory consolidation. French neuroscientists, recording from human brains in 2024, discovered that sharp wave ripples coordinate the transfer of memories from hippocampus to cortex. During these split-second events, vast amounts of information flow between brain regions. Think of them as express trains carrying memories from temporary to permanent storage. They occur most frequently during the deepest stages of sleep, when your conscious mind is furthest from awareness. Your subconscious works fastest when consciousness steps completely aside. The default mode network, often abbreviated as DMN, is a collection of brain regions that becomes highly active when you're not focused on external tasks. This network includes areas in your medial prefrontal cortex, posterior cingulate cortex, and angular gyrus. For years, scientists thought the DMN was just resting activity, but research has revealed it's anything but idle. The DMN is responsible for self-reflection, autobiographical memory, imagining future scenarios, and understanding others' perspectives. During REM sleep, the DMN shows strong activity, suggesting it continues these functions while you dream. A 2024 study in Brain found that creative people show stronger DMN connectivity, and this network becomes especially active during insight moments. Your subconscious thinking lives here. REM sleep appears to be when your brain practices emotional regulation, learning to respond appropriately to emotional situations. During REM, your amygdala, the brain's emotional center, becomes highly active, but it operates differently than during wakefulness. The prefrontal cortex, which normally modulates emotional responses, shows reduced activity during REM. This allows emotional memories to be reprocessed without the usual cognitive control, helping to reduce their emotional charge over time. A 2025 study from Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center found that people who get adequate REM sleep show better emotional regulation and lower reactivity to stress. Your sleeping brain rehearses how to handle feelings, gradually teaching your waking self more balanced responses to life's challenges. Dreams during REM sleep aren't random noise or meaningless images. Contemporary research suggests dreams may function as simulations, safe virtual environments where your brain can practice responses to challenges, threats, and social situations without real-world consequences. Finnish psychologist Antti Revonsuo proposed the threat simulation theory, suggesting that evolution shaped dreaming to help our ancestors rehearse responses to dangers. While you'll likely never be chased by a predator, your dreams still simulate stressful scenarios. Showing up unprepared to an exam, losing something important, confronting difficult people. These simulations allow your brain to practice problem solving and emotional coping in a consequence-free space. Your dreams are dress rehearsals for waking challenges, helping you prepare for tomorrow's uncertainties. The neurotransmitter acetylcholine floods your brain during REM sleep, reaching levels nearly as high as during full wakefulness. Acetylcholine is crucial for attention, learning, and memory formation. Its high presence during REM suggests this sleep stage is intensely involved in processing and consolidating information. Meanwhile, norepinephrine, a stress-related neurotransmitter, drops to nearly zero during REM. This unique neurochemical state, high acetylcholine but low norepinephrine, may explain why REM sleep is so effective for emotional memory processing. You can revisit emotional experiences without triggering a stress response, allowing your brain to extract meaning from difficult experiences without being overwhelmed. Your brain's chemistry shifts considerably across sleep stages, creating optimal conditions for different types of mental work. During deep sleep, your brain clears out metabolic waste products that accumulate during waking hours. This cleaning process involves the glymphatic system, a network of channels that flushes cerebrospinal fluid through brain tissue, washing away toxins. One such toxin is beta amyloid, a protein that, when it builds up excessively, is associated with Alzheimer's disease. Research published in 2024 confirmed that the glymphatic system works throughout sleep stages, most efficiently during deep sleep, when brain cells actually shrink by about 15%, creating more space for fluid to flow. This cleaning process is essential for maintaining brain health. Your sleeping brain literally takes out the trash, preventing the accumulation of harmful substances. Clear thinking tomorrow depends on cleaning tonight. Your brain's energy during sleep is directed towards strengthening meaningful neural connections while weakening unimportant ones. a process called synaptic homeostasis. Throughout your waking day, learning and experiences create new synaptic connections between neurons. If all these connections strengthened indefinitely, your brain would become oversaturated, making it difficult to distinguish significant information from trivial details. During sleep, particularly during slow-wave sleep, your brain downscales synaptic connections, selectively preserving the most meaningful ones while pruning weaker ones. This process, described by Italian neuroscientist Giulio Tononi in his synaptic homeostasis hypothesis and validated by numerous studies through 2025, ensures your brain maintains efficiency. Sleep doesn't just add knowledge, it refines what you already know, sharpening essential patterns. Targeted memory reactivation is a fascinating phenomenon where specific memories can be cued during sleep to enhance their consolidation. In landmark experiments, researchers had people learn information while being exposed to particular sounds or smells. Then, during sleep, those same cues were presented again. The result, people showed better memory for the cued information compared to uncued material. A 2024 study at Northwestern University found this technique can even enhance problem-solving abilities. When people were exposed to sounds associated with unsolved puzzles during sleep, they were more likely to solve those puzzles the next morning. Your sleeping brain can be guided to work on specific problems, silently processing challenges while you rest unaware. Scientists have discovered that the brain's approach to problem-solving during sleep differs fundamentally from waking problem-solving. During wakefulness, you typically use convergent thinking, focusing on finding the single correct answer through logical analysis. But during sleep, particularly REM sleep, your brain engages in divergent thinking, exploring multiple possibilities simultaneously without committing to any particular solution. A 2024 study in Creativity Research Journal found that people awakened from REM sleep showed enhanced performance on divergent thinking tasks compared to people awakened from other sleep stages. Your sleeping mind doesn't narrow down options. It expands them. It considers unlikely possibilities, entertains contradictions, and holds multiple perspectives at once. This is why sleeping on a problem often reveals options you never consciously considered. The hypnagogic state, that twilight zone between wakefulness and sleep, has been recognized as uniquely conducive to creativity and insight. Salvador Dalí famously used this state by napping in a chair while holding a key above a metal plate. As he drifted towards sleep, his hand would relax. The key would drop and clang, waking him so he could immediately capture the creative imagery from the hypnagogic state. Thomas Edison reportedly used a similar technique. A 2024 study from MIT and Harvard confirmed that this N1 sleep stage, lasting only a few minutes, significantly enhances creative problem-solving. Your mind in this transitional state accesses both conscious logic and unconscious associations simultaneously. Creativity blooms at the border between worlds. Multiple famous scientific breakthroughs occurred during sleep or in the moments just after waking. Dmitri Mendeleev reportedly dreamed the structure of the periodic table. Auguste Kekule discovered the ring structure of the benzene molecule after dreaming of a snake biting its own tail. Otto Loewy won a Nobel Prize for an experiment that came to him in a dream, demonstrating chemical neurotransmission. These aren't mere anecdotes. They illustrate a fundamental truth about how the subconscious mind works. It continues processing complex problems during sleep, often arriving at solutions that eluded conscious effort. Your sleeping brain has access to the same information as your waking brain, but it reorganizes that information in novel ways, discovering patterns hidden from conscious analysis. By this point in our journey, you might notice your thoughts drifting more easily, your attention becoming softer around the edges. This isn't distraction. It's your brain shifting modes, moving from focused external awareness toward the internal processing that dominates sleep. The drowsiness you feel serves a purpose. It releases your conscious mind's tight grip on directed thinking, allowing your subconscious to emerge. You're experiencing the first stages of what will become full sleep, the loosening of conscious control, the blurring of logical boundaries, the opening of associative networks. Everything we've explored so far has been establishing a foundation. Your brain doesn't rest during sleep. It reorganizes, preparing for the deeper work that comes when consciousness fully releases its hold on your attention. Let's pause here and notice your body. As you breathe out slowly, appreciate each tiny cell inside. Trillions of cells working in silence, heart beating, lungs breathing, brain thinking, all without your command. Notice the gentle sensations on your skin, in your muscles, along your spine. You are a complete ecosystem, diverse, self-balancing. Your body knows how to heal itself, how to rest itself, how to solve its own problems without conscious instruction. And your mind works the same way. While you rest, invisible processes unfold. Trust them. Now we continue. During REM sleep, associative networks in your brain activate in patterns impossible during waking hours. Your waking mind connects ideas through logical relationships, cause and effect, categorical similarity, temporal proximity. But your sleeping brain uses different rules. It connects ideas through emotional resonance, sensory similarity, personal significance, and even sound patterns. Words that rhyme or have similar rhythms might activate together. Concepts that evoke similar feelings link up regardless of logical connection. A 2024 study using functional brain imaging found that during REM, brain regions that normally don't communicate directly begin exchanging signals, creating new pathways for information flow. These unusual connections are precisely what generate creative insights. Your sleeping brain rewrites the rulebook for how thoughts can relate to each other, discovering solutions hidden in unconventional associations. Your prefrontal cortex acts as a mental traffic controller during wakefulness, directing attention, inhibiting irrelevant thoughts, and maintaining focus on goals. But during deep sleep, and especially during REM, prefrontal activity decreases significantly. Brain imaging studies show the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, crucial for executive control, becomes considerably less active. This decrease isn't a malfunction. It's a feature. Without prefrontal inhibition, your brain can explore connections it would normally suppress as irrelevant or illogical. Thoughts that would be dismissed as nonsensical during wakefulness are allowed to develop during sleep. This is why dreams often feel bizarre, yet emotionally meaningful. Your sleeping brain trades logical coherence for creative flexibility. The gatekeeper steps aside, allowing unexpected visitors into the rooms of thought. Studies comparing different types of memory reveal that sleep affects them differently. declarative memories, facts and events you can consciously recall, consolidate primarily during slow-wave sleep, procedural memories, skills and habits like riding a bicycle or playing an instrument, consolidate more during both N2 and REM sleep. But there's a third category that's particularly interesting: insight problems. These are problems where the solution requires restructuring how you think about the situation, not just applying known rules. A 2025 meta-analysis found that REM sleep specifically enhances performance on insight problems, while having less effect on purely logical problems. Your sleeping brain excels at seeing situations differently, at restructuring problems, at finding the hidden framework that makes everything suddenly make sense. The brain's capacity for implicit learning, absorbing patterns without conscious awareness, continues and even accelerates during sleep. In fascinating experiments, researchers exposed sleeping participants to complex sound patterns or sequences. Upon waking, participants couldn't consciously describe the patterns, yet they performed better on tasks involving those patterns compared to people who hadn't been exposed. Their brains had learned something without consciousness knowing it had learned. This implicit learning during sleep may explain sudden knowing. When you wake up somehow understanding something you didn't study consciously, your subconscious mind processes and learns from environmental information even while you sleep. It builds knowledge silently, delivering insights to consciousness only after the work is complete. Memory reconsolidation is a process where existing memories become temporarily unstable when recalled, then restabilize in modified form. This happens naturally during sleep, when your sleeping brain reactivates a memory. That memory becomes briefly malleable, open to updating with new information or connecting with other memories. Research published in Cell Reports in 2024 showed that sleep-based memory reconsolidation allows your brain to integrate new experiences with old knowledge, updating your understanding rather than just adding new files. This process means your memories aren't fixed recordings. They're living, evolving representations that incorporate new learning. Your sleeping brain rewrites your past to make it more useful for your future. Memories transform into wisdom through this nightly revision. The concept of incubation in problem solving refers to the improvement in problem-solving ability that occurs after a break from working on the problem. Sleep is perhaps the most powerful form of incubation. Multiple studies have demonstrated that people perform better on complex problems after sleeping compared to spending an equal time awake. The effect is strongest for problems requiring insight or creative restructuring rather than pure logic. During the incubation period of sleep, your subconscious continues working on the problem using different processing strategies than your conscious mind employs. The break from conscious effort isn't passive waiting. It's active subconscious processing. Sometimes the best way forward is to stop trying and sleep. During REM sleep, your brain shows increased connectivity between distant brain regions while showing decreased connectivity between nearby regions. This unusual pattern, called long-range connectivity, allows information from different specialized areas to interact in novel ways. A 2024 study in Science Advances found that this connectivity pattern correlates with creative problem-solving ability. Visual areas might interact with language areas, emotional centers with logical centers, creating combinations impossible during typical waking thought. Your brain during REM becomes a grand cocktail party, where specialists from different departments mix freely, sharing insights that lead to unexpected collaborations. Structure loosens, boundaries soften, and new partnerships form. This is the neural basis of inspiration. Distant knowledge meeting. Sleep deprivation severely impairs your ability to solve problems, particularly problems requiring flexible thinking. After just one night of poor sleep, people show reduced activity in the prefrontal cortex and anterior cingulate cortex, regions crucial for adapting strategies and considering alternatives. But interestingly, sleep deprivation doesn't equally impair all types of thinking. A 2025 study found that sleep-deprived people can still perform routine tasks reasonably well, but struggle with novel problems requiring creative solutions. The subconscious problem-solving machinery needs regular sleep to function optimally. You can push through tired and accomplish familiar tasks, but your capacity for insight and creative problem-solving deteriorates rapidly without adequate rest. Innovation requires sleep. Discovery demands rest. Emotional problems, conflicts with others, difficult decisions with emotional stakes, processing traumatic experiences, particularly benefit from sleep-based processing. During REM sleep, emotional memories are reactivated in a brain state characterized by low-stress neurotransmitters. This allows your brain to process emotional content while you're neurochemically calm, gradually reducing the emotional intensity of memories while preserving their informational content. Research from 2024 shows this process helps explain why advice to sleep on it works especially well for emotionally charged decisions. Your sleeping brain can consider emotionally significant options without being overwhelmed by emotional reactivity. By morning, you can think more clearly about situations that felt overwhelming the night before. Sleep provides emotional distance without emotional avoidance. Your sleeping brain engages in what researchers call covert retrieval practice, silently rehearsing information without conscious awareness. During N2 and N3 sleep, your hippocampus spontaneously replays learning episodes, effectively practicing what you learned during the day. This rehearsal strengthens memory traces and enhances later recall. But it does something more. During this covert practice, your brain experiments with slight variations of the original learning, testing different ways the information might be applied. This process, documented in 2024 studies using intracranial recordings, means your sleeping brain doesn't just preserve what you learned. It explores how you might use it. Each night, your subconscious runs thousands of mental simulations, preparing you for situations you haven't yet encountered. The sleep-dependent improvement in problem-solving isn't just about consolidating memories or reducing fatigue. It involves genuine insight, suddenly understanding something in a new way. German researchers at the University of Lübeck demonstrated this elegantly in a classic 2004 study that's been replicated and extended through 2024. Participants learned a complex mathematical task that could be solved by following rules laboriously or by discovering a hidden shortcut. People who slept between practice and testing were 3 times more likely to discover the shortcut compared to those who stayed awake. Their sleeping brains recognized the underlying pattern that conscious practice missed. Sleep doesn't just preserve what you already know. It reveals what you didn't yet realize you knew. Hidden patterns emerge during rest. The relationship between sleep and creativity has been quantified through multiple measures. People who get adequate sleep score higher on tests of divergent thinking, generating multiple solutions to open-ended problems. They produce more original ideas, make more remote associations, and show greater flexibility in approaching problems. A large-scale 2025 study across multiple countries found that sleep quality predicted creative ability better than factors like age, education, or intelligence. This correlation held across cultures, suggesting a fundamental relationship between sleep and creativity. Your creative potential isn't fixed by your talents or education alone. It fluctuates with your sleep quality. Every night you sleep well. You enhance your capacity for original thought and innovative problem solving. Dream content often incorporates elements from your recent concerns and current problems, but rarely in literal form. If you're working on a difficult problem, don't expect to dream about solving it directly. Instead, your dream might present metaphorical versions of the problem. Similar emotional dynamics in different scenarios. Parallel structures in unrelated contexts. A 2024 study analyzing dream reports found that about 60% of dreams contain themes related to current concerns. But most people don't recognize the connection upon waking. Your subconscious works on problems through symbolism and metaphor, approaching issues sideways rather than head-on. The dream about being lost might be working on your career confusion. Transformed. The concept of letting go of a problem to solve it isn't just folk wisdom. It has a neural basis. When you consciously focus intensely on a problem, you activate specific neural pathways associated with that problem's domain. But sometimes the solution requires connections from outside that domain. Conscious focus, while valuable, can also create tunnel vision, preventing you from noticing relevant information from other areas. Sleep forces you to let go, allowing your brain to explore freely without the constraints of focused attention. Research in 2024, using graph theory analysis of brain networks, found that sleep increases between network connectivity, allowing information from different knowledge domains to interact. Release of conscious control enables broader search patterns. We've reached an important transition point in our understanding. The evidence is clear. Your subconscious has access to the same information as your consciousness, but it processes that information differently. It isn't bound by logical constraints, doesn't dismiss unlikely connections, and explores solution spaces your conscious mind would never enter. During sleep, with prefrontal inhibition reduced and associative networks freely active, your subconscious mind can see patterns invisible to conscious analysis. This isn't mystical or magical. It's different cognitive processing applied to the same problem. Your sleeping brain isn't smarter than your waking brain. It's differently smart, complementing conscious thinking with unconscious exploration. Both modes are necessary. Neither alone is sufficient. You're still here with me. Thoughts still flickering like candlelight. Just notice. Don't judge. Just notice where your mind is now. We're exploring consciousness itself. The very thing doing the exploring right now. Strange, beautiful, and perfectly calm. Half the journey complete. Yet you need not remember all of it. Let's drift onward together. If your subconscious has such powerful problem-solving abilities during sleep, what are the implications for how you approach challenges? Traditional advice suggests working harder, thinking more, analyzing thoroughly. But sleep research suggests a paradox. Sometimes the most productive action is conscious inaction, stopping work, releasing focus, and sleeping might advance problem-solving more than additional hours of conscious effort. A 2025 study comparing problem-solving strategies found that people who took sleep breaks solved complex problems faster overall than those who worked continuously. Despite spending fewer total hours actively working, the implication is clear. Building sleep into your problem-solving process isn't taking time away from work. It's essential to the work itself. The timing of sleep relative to learning matters significantly. Sleep soon after learning enhances memory consolidation more effectively than sleep delayed by many hours. But interestingly, sleep before learning also improves subsequent memory formation. A 2024 study from UC Berkeley found that people who got good sleep the night before learning new material showed better memory encoding than sleep-deprived individuals, even when both groups then slept normally after learning. Sleep prepares your brain to absorb new information efficiently and then consolidates what you've learned afterward. Your brain needs sleep, bookending learning, before to prepare, after to consolidate. Each night of sleep serves both yesterday's learning and tomorrow's readiness simultaneously. Different types of problems benefit from sleep in different ways. Analytical problems with clear logical solutions show modest improvement after sleep. But problems requiring creative insight, where you must see the situation from a new perspective, show considerable improvement. Problems requiring emotional judgment improve specifically after REM sleep. Problems involving motor skills improve during both N2 and REM. A comprehensive 2024 meta-analysis found these differential effects across hundreds of studies. The type of problem determines which sleep stage is most beneficial, but nearly every type of problem benefits from some stage of sleep. Your sleeping brain is a universal problem solver, though different stages specialize in different solution types. The concept of sleeping on it for important decisions is supported by neuroscience. When you're making a complex decision with multiple factors to weigh, conscious deliberation has limitations. You can only hold about 4 to 7 pieces of information in working memory simultaneously, and conscious analysis tends to overweight factors that are easy to articulate while underweighting intuitive factors. Sleep allows subconscious integration of all factors simultaneously. Research from the Netherlands in 2024 found that people making complex choices, like choosing between apartments with many features, made better decisions after a period including sleep compared to immediate decisions or decisions after equal time awake. Your subconscious integrates complexity better than conscious deliberation alone can manage. The phenomenon of suddenly understanding something upon waking, often called the aha moment, reflects a real neural process. During sleep, particularly during REM, your brain continues working on problems from your waking hours. The solution may crystallize during sleep, but you only become conscious of it upon waking, when consciousness returns and can access what the subconscious discovered. Some people report the moment of waking itself triggers the insight, as if the transition between sleep and wake creates a brief window where both conscious and subconscious processes are simultaneously accessible. The boundary between sleep and wake may be the most creative moment, where both processing modes converge before separating again. Lucid dreaming. Becoming aware that you're dreaming while still asleep offers a unique opportunity to consciously direct subconscious processing. Experienced lucid dreamers report being able to work on problems within their dreams, asking their dream imagery for solutions or insights. A 2024 study found that people with frequent lucid dreams showed higher creativity scores and better problem-solving abilities than those who rarely dream lucidly. About 11% of people experience lucid dreams weekly or more, while roughly half of all adults report having at least one lucid dream in their lifetime. The state represents a hybrid consciousness where awareness persists during sleep's associative processing. You can potentially train yourself to maintain some conscious presence during subconscious exploration. Dreams serve a simulation function, allowing your brain to model possible future scenarios without real-world consequences. Your dreaming brain creates virtual environments where you can practice responses to challenges, threats, and social situations. This simulation theory of dreaming, proposed by Finnish researcher Antti Revonsuo and supported by growing evidence through 2024, suggests dreams evolved as a safe training ground. The problems you work through in dreams: conflict resolution, threat response, social navigation, prepare you for similar situations when awake. Your subconscious runs thousands of simulations each night, exploring how you might handle various scenarios. Some situations you'll never encounter, but the practice strengthens general problem-solving abilities and emotional regulation skills. The emotional intensity of dreams serves a purpose beyond just being memorable. Emotional activation during dreams helps tag which memories and problem-solving strategies are most meaningful to consolidate and remember. Your dreaming brain is testing emotional responses to simulated scenarios, learning which approaches lead to better or worse emotional outcomes. A 2025 study using brain imaging during REM sleep found that the emotional intensity of dream content correlated with subsequent waking emotional regulation abilities. Your dreams don't just work on intellectual problems. They're emotional problem-solving exercises. The feelings you experience in dreams are real emotions. Providing practice in managing difficult feelings in a safe space where consequences don't follow you into waking. Memory integration during sleep doesn't just combine new and old memories. It extracts general principles, creating abstract knowledge from specific experiences. If you learn several specific examples of a concept during the day, sleep helps you extract the underlying rule or pattern. This process, called schema formation, allows you to apply learning to novel situations you've never explicitly encountered. A 2024 study tracked this process by teaching participants related problems, then testing whether they could apply the learned principle to new problems. People who slept between learning and testing were significantly better at generalizing their knowledge. Your sleeping brain acts as a pattern recognition system, finding common threads across disparate experiences. Building understanding. Halfway through our journey together, we can pause to notice something important. The answer to why your subconscious solves problems during sleep is emerging not as a single fact, but as a converging understanding from multiple perspectives. Your sleeping brain has time to work without conscious interruption. It has access to information your conscious mind filters out. It has freedom to make connections your waking logic would reject. These aren't separate explanations. They're three aspects of the same phenomenon. Your subconscious during sleep operates under different rules than your consciousness during waking. Different rules sometimes produce better solutions. The question isn't whether to trust your subconscious. It's learning when to let it work. You might notice now how time feels different Has this been minutes, hours, time stretches and compresses when the mind moves towards sleep? Each breath is its own small eternity. Each thought drifts without urgency. There's no schedule in sleep, no deadlines in dreams. Your subconscious doesn't rush towards solutions. It arrives there in its own time, following pathways consciousness never sees. Trust this timing. The answer will come not when you demand it, but when you're ready to receive it. When you stop searching and start allowing. Rest in not knowing. And we continue drifting. Your identity, your sense of self, isn't static. It's continuously reconstructed through memory. During sleep, particularly during REM, your brain works on autobiographical memory, integrating recent experiences into your life narrative. This process isn't just preservation, it's creative synthesis. Your sleeping brain weaves new experiences into your ongoing story, sometimes revising how you understand past events in light of present knowledge. Research from 2024 shows this narrative construction during sleep contributes to psychological well-being and sense of life coherence. Your subconscious is literally writing your story each night, deciding which experiences are meaningful chapters and which are forgotten footnotes. You wake each morning with a slightly revised autobiography. The consolidation of problem-solving skills during sleep follows a fascinating pattern. Initially, when you first learn a new problem-solving strategy, you apply it consciously and effortfully. But after sleep, the strategy begins to feel more intuitive, more automatic. You can execute it with less conscious attention. This shift from explicit to implicit knowledge happens specifically during sleep. Studies tracking brain activity found that sleep transforms controlled, prefrontal-dependent problem-solving into more automatic, habit-like responses. Your sleeping brain practices skills until they become second nature. What required intense focus yesterday can flow naturally tomorrow, not because you practiced more while awake, but because sleep automated the learning. Error correction happens during sleep in subtle but meaningful ways. When you learn something incorrectly during the day, misunderstanding a concept, or practicing a skill with poor technique, sleep can help correct these errors if you've also been exposed to correct information. Your sleeping brain compares different versions of learning, strengthening correct patterns and weakening incorrect ones. A 2025 study found that people who practiced a task with errors, then received feedback, then slept, showed better error correction than those who practiced correctly throughout. Sleep helped them unlearn mistakes. Your subconscious can detect and repair flaws in understanding that conscious review might miss. The relationship between sleep and wisdom, not just knowledge, but understanding how to apply knowledge appropriately, has been studied in older adults. Wisdom involves integrating information from multiple sources, considering context, maintaining multiple perspectives, and applying past learning to novel situations. Research published in 2024 found that older adults who maintained good sleep quality showed better wisdom-related reasoning than those with poor sleep. Even when controlling for other cognitive factors, sleep appears essential not just for acquiring knowledge, but for developing mature judgment about how to use it. Your sleeping brain transforms information into understanding, knowledge into wisdom, facts into insight. Experience becomes guidance through nightly processing. Breakthrough insights often feel sudden, but they result from gradual subconscious processing. The classic aha moment represents the conscious mind finally accessing a solution the subconscious already constructed. Brain imaging studies have detected neural signatures of solution knowledge several seconds before people report consciously realizing the solution. A 2024 study using EEG found that gamma band activity in the right temporal lobe predicted imminent insight experiences. Your subconscious knows the answer before your consciousness does. The delay isn't the time needed to solve the problem. It's the time needed for the solution to cross from subconscious to conscious awareness. Discovery precedes announcement. Sleep preferentially consolidates information that has future relevance over information unlikely to be needed again. But how does your sleeping brain know what will be useful later? It uses two main strategies: emotional significance and deliberate intention. Emotionally significant experiences consolidate more strongly, reflecting the brain's assumption that what matters emotionally probably matters behaviorally. But notably, if you consciously intend to remember something before sleeping, that intention influences which memories consolidate during sleep. Studies found that telling people they'll be tested on specific information after sleep enhances consolidation of that information. Your conscious intention shapes your subconscious processing. What you decide matters, influences what your sleeping brain prioritizes. Sleep doesn't just help you remember information. It can help you forget unimportant details while preserving essential meaning. This process, called gist extraction, allows your sleeping brain to extract the core message or pattern from experiences while letting go of superficial specifics. You might forget exact words of a conversation, but remember the essential point. You might forget specific examples from a lecture, but remember the underlying principle. A 2025 study found this gist extraction happens specifically during sleep, particularly during REM. Your sleeping brain acts as an editor, keeping what matters and cutting what doesn't. Details fade while meaning strengthens. The creative process in art, science, and daily life involves both conscious effort and unconscious incubation. Many creators report their best ideas come during rest, sleep, or mindless activities rather than during focused work. This pattern reflects the complementary roles of conscious and subconscious processing. Conscious work defines the problem, gathers information, and consciously tests solutions. But subconscious processing during rest and sleep explores solution spaces your conscious mind wouldn't consider. A 2024 survey of creative professionals found that 92% reported experiencing meaningful insights during rest periods. Your conscious mind asks the question. Your subconscious provides the answer. The quality of solutions generated during sleep correlates with sleep quality. People who experience fragmented, interrupted sleep show less problem-solving improvement compared to those with consolidated, high-quality sleep. Deep sleep and REM sleep both contribute, but in different ways. Deep sleep for consolidating declarative knowledge and general patterns. REM for creative recombination and emotional processing. Research from 2024 using sleep tracking and next-day problem-solving tests found that the amount of REM sleep specifically predicted improvement on insight problems. You can't force your subconscious to solve problems, but you can create conditions that help. Quality sleep is the foundation for quality subconscious problem solving. Your sleeping brain can continue multitasking, working on multiple problems simultaneously. while conscious attention struggles to focus on more than one complex problem at a time. Sleep-based subconscious processing isn't limited in the same way. Researchers found that cueing multiple different problems during sleep, using sounds associated with each problem, resulted in improvement on all cued problems, not just one. A 2024 study confirmed that multiple memory traces can be simultaneously reactivated during sleep as effectively as a single memory. Your subconscious is a parallel processor, working on numerous concerns simultaneously while consciousness experiences unified awareness of just one thing at a time. The connection between sleep and mental health reveals that many psychological problems involve disrupted sleep, and disrupted sleep worsens mental health. But the relationship goes deeper than simple correlation. Many mental health conditions involve problems with emotional memory processing, difficulty letting go of negative experiences, inability to maintain positive memories, or overwhelming emotional reactions. These problems reflect, at least partly, disrupted REM sleep function. When REM sleep is fragmented or insufficient, emotional memory processing suffers. A 2025 meta-analysis found that treating sleep problems in depression and anxiety often improves emotional symptoms even before other symptoms improve. Your emotional well-being depends on your sleeping brain processing feelings nightly. Problem-solving during sleep shows fascinating developmental patterns. Children's sleep includes more REM and deep sleep than adults, and children show stronger sleep-dependent learning effects. Their brains are consolidating massive amounts of new learning every day. Language, social rules, motor skills, emotional regulation. Adolescents show particularly strong REM effects on creative problem-solving, corresponding with their developmental stage of exploring identity and possibilities. Older adults maintain sleep-dependent consolidation abilities but may need longer or higher quality sleep to achieve the same effects. Your sleeping brain's problem-solving abilities evolve across the lifespan, always present but shifting in character and needs. The relationship between sleep and intuition, that feeling of knowing something without conscious reasoning, reflects subconscious processing made accessible to consciousness. Intuition often represents patterns your brain detected and processed without conscious awareness. Sleep enhances intuitive judgment by consolidating these patterns and integrating them into your decision-making frameworks. A 2024 study found that people made better intuitive judgments about complex patterns after sleep compared to after equal time awake. Their subconscious had extracted patterns too subtle for conscious analysis. Intuition isn't mystical. It's subconscious pattern recognition. Sleep strengthens these patterns, making them accessible to waking judgment. Your gut feelings become more reliable after your sleeping brain refines them. Metaphor and analogy, understanding one thing in terms of another, are fundamental to human thinking and problem-solving. Your sleeping brain excels at finding metaphorical connections. During dreams, experiences from different domains merge, creating symbolic relationships. This same process, operating at subconscious levels, helps find analogies between problems in different domains. A business problem might share deep structure with a biological problem. A personal relationship issue might mirror a strategic challenge. Your sleeping brain finds these cross-domain parallels. Research in 2024 found that people who sleep between learning about two different domains are better at finding analogies between them. At this point in our exploration, we can recognize something profound. Your subconscious doesn't just solve problems you consciously give it. It also works on problems you haven't consciously recognized as problems. Vague dissatisfaction, unclear conflicts, half-formed questions. Your subconscious processes these too. Sometimes you wake with answers to questions you didn't know you'd asked. This reflects the subconscious's ability to detect patterns in your experience that haven't reached conscious awareness yet. Your sleeping brain is always working, always processing, always seeking coherence and resolution. It doesn't wait for conscious permission. It doesn't require explicit instruction. Understanding emerges whether you direct it or not. The process of sleeping on important life decisions, career changes, relationship decisions, major purchases, works best when you've gathered information consciously first. Your subconscious needs raw material to work with. After gathering information, sleep allows your brain to integrate that information in ways conscious deliberation cannot match. The conscious mind excels at gathering and comparing information. The subconscious excels at integration and holistic evaluation. Research from 2024 found that complex decisions made after information gathering followed by sleep were more satisfying long-term than decisions made immediately. Even when both groups had identical information, integration takes time. Your sleeping brain provides that time. Anxiety and rumination. Repetitively thinking about problems without reaching resolution can persist during sleep, potentially interfering with the constructive problem-solving sleep normally provides. When worry follows you into sleep, REM sleep's problem-solving benefits may be reduced. The brain replays problems without reaching new insights, reinforcing anxiety rather than resolving concerns. A 2025 study found that people with high anxiety showed less problem-solving improvement after sleep compared to low anxiety individuals. Your sleeping brain works best when it can explore freely, not when it's trapped rehearsing the same worried thoughts. Release comes before resolution. Sleep spindles, those brief bursts of brain activity we discussed earlier, appear to protect new memories from interference. During sleep, your brain continues receiving sensory information from the environment, even though you're not conscious of most of it. Sleep spindles may prevent this ongoing sensory input from disrupting the memory consolidation process. Think of them as a shield, allowing your hippocampus to transfer memories to the cortex without environmental noise interfering. Research in 2024 found that people who generated more sleep spindles showed better memory consolidation, even in noisy sleep environments. Your brain has protective mechanisms, guarding the subconscious work from disruption. The integration of emotional and factual information happens primarily during sleep. Experiences have both informational content and emotional significance. Your waking brain tends to process these separately. Facts in one moment, feelings in another. But during sleep, particularly during REM, emotional and factual aspects merge. You remember not just what happened, but how it mattered. A 2024 study using memory tests found that people remembered emotional context better after sleep than after equal time awake, while also extracting factual patterns more effectively. Your sleeping brain creates rich, integrated memories that include both meaning and feeling, information and significance, social problem solving, understanding others' perspectives, navigating conflicts, building relationships, benefits particularly from REM sleep. During REM, brain regions involved in social cognition show higher activity. Your sleeping brain simulates social interactions, practices perspective taking, and integrates social learning. Research published in 2024 found that people who got adequate REM sleep showed better social problem solving and empathy compared to those with REM deprivation. Your relationships improve not just through conscious social effort, but through your sleeping brain processing social experiences, learning from social successes and failures, refining your understanding of human interaction. The shift we've been discussing, from understanding sleep as passive to recognizing it as active transformation, changes how you might approach problems. The old paradigm suggested, work hard, think more, push through. The new understanding suggests, work consciously, gather information, then release to subconscious processing during sleep. This doesn't mean less total effort. It means distributing effort across both conscious and subconscious systems, using each for what it does best. Your waking mind gathers and organizes. Your sleeping mind integrates and illuminates. Both modes are necessary. Neither is sufficient alone. Wisdom is knowing which mode serves each moment. Stress hormones like cortisol naturally decrease during sleep, particularly during deep sleep. This reduction in stress neurochemistry creates optimal conditions for memory consolidation and problem solving. When cortisol remains elevated, as happens with chronic stress or poor sleep, memory consolidation suffers and problem-solving abilities decline. A 2025 study measuring cortisol levels across the night found that people with better cortisol reduction during sleep showed better problem-solving the next day. Your sleeping brain needs biochemical calm to work effectively. Physical stress interferes with mental processing. The relaxation of sleep serves cognitive functions, not just physical rest. The phenomenon of dreams, providing creative inspiration, has been documented across cultures and historical periods. But not all creativity during sleep happens in remembered dreams. Much subconscious processing occurs without generating conscious dream imagery, or in dreams you don't remember upon waking. The creative work happens whether you recall it or not. A 2024 study found that people showed creative improvements after sleep, regardless of whether they remembered dreaming. Your subconscious doesn't need your conscious participation or awareness. It works silently, delivering results to your waking mind without explaining its methods. The gift arrives even when you don't witness the wrapping. Individual differences in sleep patterns and needs affect problem-solving abilities. Some people are natural early risers who feel sharp in the morning. Others are night owls who think clearly late at night. These chronotype differences reflect underlying differences in circadian rhythms. Research from 2024 found that people show better problem-solving when working during their optimal circadian phase and sleeping at their preferred times. Your subconscious works best when working with your natural rhythms, not against them. Forcing yourself into misaligned schedules doesn't just feel uncomfortable. It reduces your cognitive effectiveness, including your sleeping brain's problem-solving abilities. We've arrived at a clear understanding. Your subconscious solves problems during sleep because it has three things your conscious mind lacks during waking: time without interruption, hours of continuous processing without competing demands on attention, access to filtered information, memories and knowledge your conscious mind suppresses or overlooks, freedom from logical constraints. the ability to make unusual connections your waking logic would reject. These aren't mystical properties. They're simply different operating conditions. Your sleeping brain follows different rules, explores different spaces, and sometimes, often actually, finds solutions hidden from conscious search. The answer to our question isn't single-faceted. It's three-sided. Three aspects of the same cognitive transformation that happens nightly. You might be feeling tired now. That's perfectly fine. Breathe slowly. Feel the cycles. Your body cycles through waking and sleeping. Your brain cycles through different stages each night. All are circles, rhythms, endless patterns, like your breath. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. A small cycle within vast universal rhythms. You are also part of eternal movement. You don't need to hold on to anything. Let everything unfold in its perfect order, like consciousness silently rotating between waking and dreaming. Unhurried, unresisting, simply existing. We're almost there now. Everything continues. Nothing is forced, just gentle progression. The practical wisdom emerging from sleep research is straightforward. When facing difficult problems, build sleep into your problem-solving strategy from the beginning. Don't treat sleep as time stolen from work. Treat it as essential problem-solving time. After gathering information and thinking consciously, deliberately sleep before making decisions. This isn't procrastination or avoidance. It's strategic use of your brain's dual processing systems. Your conscious and subconscious minds work as partners, each contributing unique abilities. Honoring both increases effectiveness. The best problem solvers know when to think and when to sleep. Your dreams tonight will continue working on whatever concerns you brought to bed, whether you consciously intended it or not. The worries you carried into sleep, the questions you've been pondering, the problems you're avoiding, all of these filter into your sleeping brain's processing. You cannot control what your subconscious works on, but you can influence it through intention and attention during waking hours. What you focus on consciously shapes what your subconscious processes during sleep. Your daytime concerns become nighttime projects. The relationship between problem-solving and sleep isn't linear. More sleep doesn't always mean better solutions. There's an optimal range, typically 7 to 9 hours for most adults, where sleep's cognitive benefits are maximal. Too little sleep and consolidation processes are incomplete. Too much sleep can sometimes reflect poor sleep quality or other health issues. Your brain needs adequate time to cycle through multiple sleep stages, experiencing both deep sleep and REM several times. Quality matters more than quantity. Memory researchers distinguish between memories you can consciously recall and memories that influence behavior without awareness. Sleep affects both types, but in different ways. Explicit memories, facts you can state, consolidate during slow-wave sleep. Implicit memories, skills and habits, consolidate during REM and N2 sleep. But the most interesting category is implicit insight. Understanding something without consciously knowing why. Sleep generates these intuitions by processing patterns too complex for conscious analysis. You wake knowing something without knowing how you know. The sleeping brain maintains awareness of significant sounds, even during deep sleep. A mother hears her baby cry immediately while sleeping through louder, irrelevant sounds. Your name spoken quietly wakes you faster than louder, neutral words. This selective attention during sleep suggests that subconscious monitoring continues all night, filtering environmental sounds for significance. Your sleeping brain maintains a watch, remaining ready to wake if necessary, while allowing unimportant sounds to be ignored. Protection and processing continue simultaneously throughout sleep. The phenomenon of incubation, improvement after rest, isn't unique to sleep. Brief daydreaming breaks also show incubation effects, though not as strongly as sleep. What matters is releasing conscious focus and allowing subconscious processing time. Even short periods of mind wandering can generate insights, but sleep provides the longest, most intense period of subconscious dominance. Your brain needs both brief breaks during waking and long periods of sleep. Different problems benefit from different rest durations. Nightmares, while unpleasant, may serve a problem-solving function by simulating threatening scenarios in a safe environment. Your brain practices responding to threats, even unrealistic ones, strengthening fear responses and coping strategies. Recurring nightmares often relate to unresolved waking concerns. Your subconscious repeatedly attempting to process difficult material. They're not failures of sleep, but perhaps intensive efforts at emotional problem-solving. The unpleasantness signals significance. Your subconscious marking this material as requiring attention and resolution. The clarity you feel upon waking from good sleep reflects more than just physical rest. Your neural networks have been reorganized, memories consolidated, emotions processed, and problems worked through. Your brain has literally rewired itself overnight, strengthening useful connections and weakening unneeded ones. You wake with a brain slightly but meaningfully different from the one that fell asleep. This nightly transformation is why sleep feels refreshing. You're not just rested, you're renewed. Every morning brings subtle neural rebirth. Future technologies may allow more direct access to sleep-based problem-solving. Researchers are developing methods to cue specific memories during sleep using sounds or smells, guide dreams toward particular topics, or even achieve real-time communication with lucid dreamers. These tools could enhance natural sleep-based problem-solving. But even without technology, you already have access to this powerful system. It works automatically every night, requiring only adequate sleep and the wisdom to trust it. The poet's truth and the scientist's truth converge. Sleep transforms. The poets knew this through observation and introspection. The scientists confirm it through measurement and experiment. Your sleeping brain isn't mysterious. It follows discoverable patterns and mechanisms, yet it remains wondrous. This nightly journey into altered consciousness, where problems dissolve and understanding emerges. Science explains how, without diminishing wonder, your subconscious works according to principles we increasingly understand, but still experience as something profound and personal. So, could your subconscious solve problems when you sleep? It already has. Every problem you've awakened, understanding better. Every decision that became clearer after rest. Every creative insight that came unbidden. These weren't accidents or coincidences. They were your subconscious delivering results. The question isn't whether to believe in sleep-based problem solving. The question is whether you'll honor it, trust it, and build it deliberately into your life. The real change isn't in understanding how sleep helps problem solving. It's in recognizing that you've always had this resource and perhaps undervalued it. Every time you said, "I need to sleep on this," You were invoking subconscious processing. Every time you woke with clarity, your sleeping brain had been working. You've experienced this countless times without fully recognizing what was happening. Now you know. The power was always yours. Your approach to problems can shift from relentless effort to strategic rest. Not everything yields to pushing harder. Some challenges require you to shift modes, from forcing solutions consciously to allowing insights subconsciously. This isn't giving up. It's using different tools, like switching from pushing to pulling, from forcing to allowing. The effort remains, but it moves from action to reception, from conscious to subconscious. Different modes for different moments. Wisdom lies in recognizing which approach serves each challenge. The relationship between sleep and consciousness reveals something fundamental about human nature. You are not just your conscious awareness. Your subconscious mind is equally you, working continuously whether you acknowledge it or not. Sleep brings this partnership into balance, giving subconscious processes room to work without conscious interference. You are a dual process being, most effective when both systems collaborate rather than one dominating. Wholeness requires honoring both conscious and subconscious contributions. The answer we've been building toward is complete. Your subconscious solves problems during sleep because consciousness steps aside, creating conditions impossible during waking. Time without interruption, access without filtering, freedom without inhibition. These conditions allow different processing, different connections, different insights. Your sleeping brain isn't magical. It's mechanical, following neural principles. But those principles produce something that feels like magic. Understanding arriving unbidden, solutions emerging complete, wisdom appearing from apparent nowhere. Trust doesn't mean abandoning conscious effort. It means distributing effort appropriately between conscious and subconscious systems. Work consciously to gather information, define problems, test solutions, then release to subconscious processing during sleep. Return consciously to evaluate what emerged. This cycle, conscious work, subconscious incubation, conscious evaluation, is how complex problems get solved. Neither system alone suffices. The partnership creates results neither achieves separately. Your relationship with sleep might change after understanding its role in problem solving. Sleep becomes not just physical rest, but mental transformation time. Not just escape from waking, but engagement with different processing. Not absence of consciousness, but presence of subconsciousness. Respecting sleep means respecting yourself. Acknowledging that your mind needs both modes to function fully. Every night of good sleep is an investment in tomorrow's thinking, feeling, and creating. The boundary between sleeping and waking, between conscious and subconscious, is more permeable than it seems. Ideas cross between them constantly. Dreams influence waking thoughts. Waking concerns shape dream content. Neither state is isolated. They're in continuous dialogue, each informing the other. Your life isn't divided into sleeping and waking segments, but rather flows between different modes of consciousness, each contributing to your total experience of being alive and aware. Anxiety about not sleeping becomes self-fulfilling, preventing the sleep it fears losing. But understanding sleep's function can reduce this anxiety. Your brain knows how to sleep. You've done it thousands of times. Trusting the process allows it to unfold naturally. Tonight, you don't need to force sleep or worry about not achieving it. Simply allow rest to come when it's ready. Your body and brain coordinate this transition automatically. The problems you're carrying tonight, whatever worries, questions, or concerns you brought to this quiet space, your sleeping brain will work on them. Not because you consciously direct it, but because that's what sleeping brains do. They process the day's residue, integrate new experiences, and seek resolution for unfinished business. You can release effort now. You've done your conscious part. Let your subconscious continue the work while you rest. Your subconscious solves problems because it's freed from conscious constraints during sleep. The reduction of prefrontal control, the unusual neurotransmitter states, the associative freedom. These aren't dysfunctions, but different functions. Your sleeping brain operates by different rules, explores different territories, makes different connections. Sometimes different is exactly what's needed. Sometimes letting go of control is how you find what controlling couldn't discover. Release enables revelation. The wisdom of sleeping on it reflects deep understanding of human cognition accumulated over millennia before neuroscience existed. People knew through experience what science now confirms. Rest brings clarity. Morning brings insight. Sleep transforms understanding. Ancient wisdom and modern science agree. Your ancestors trusted this process. Contemporary research validates it. The only question is whether you'll honor this knowledge in your own life. Building sleep into your approach to challenges. As you drift towards sleep tonight, you might notice that understanding these facts about sleep has already begun working on you. The knowledge itself influences how you experience sleep. Knowing that your sleeping brain works on problems might help you release conscious effort more easily. Understanding subconscious processing might increase trust in rest. Information about sleep changes sleep itself. You're already beginning the transformation simply by learning about it. The ultimate insight isn't complicated. Your subconscious and conscious minds are partners, not competitors. Consciousness gathers, organizes, directs. Subconsciousness integrates, associates, creates. Both are you. Both are necessary. Wisdom lies in knowing when to engage each mode, how to transition between them, and trusting both to contribute their unique gifts. You are not just your conscious awareness. You are the totality. Waking and sleeping, conscious and subconscious, directed and receptive. The answer was always simple but easily forgotten. Sometimes the most productive thing you can do is sleep. Not because sleep is passive rest, but because it's active transformation. Your sleeping brain continues your work using different methods, achieving different results. The problems you face don't require constant conscious attention. They require balanced distribution between conscious effort and subconscious processing. Trust yourself enough to stop trying and start allowing. The answer comes not despite rest, but through it. And now you know why your subconscious solves problems when you sleep. Time, access, freedom. 3 conditions that converge during sleep, enabling processing impossible during waking hours. This understanding doesn't make the process less noteworthy. If anything, knowing how it works deepens appreciation. Your brain possesses this extraordinary ability, operating every night, solving problems while you rest unaware. The gift has always been yours. Now you recognize it. Now you can trust it. Now you can deliberately engage it. Your sleeping mind awaits tonight's work. Rest well. And so, our quiet journey through the mysteries of sleep and problem-solving comes to a gentle close. We've traveled from the discovery that sleep isn't rest to the understanding that it's transformation. Discovering along the way that your subconscious is not separate from you but is you, working while consciousness rests. From neural oscillations rippling through sleeping cortex to remote associations connecting distant memories, we've glimpsed how the sleeping mind is both mechanical and wondrous, both explained and inspiring. Sleep reminds us that productivity isn't only achieved through conscious effort. Much of life's most meaningful work happens in silence, in darkness, in states where control releases and allowing begins. Your sleeping brain demonstrates a profound truth. Sometimes wisdom comes not from trying harder, but from trusting deeper. In these final minutes, take the deepest breath you can. As deep as possible, think about the unity of conscious and subconscious, waking and sleeping, effort and rest. You are not divided. You are whole, with different modes serving different needs. Think about consciousness itself. Yours, mine, everyone listening, all awareness everywhere, perhaps all connected in ways we don't yet understand. You are not alone in the universe of minds. Let your entire being dissolve into the ocean of consciousness, into dreamless rest, into the space before thought. Prepare for deep sleep. No boundaries left, only peace. If this thoughtful exploration of the mind helped you relax or fall asleep tonight, a gentle subscribe or like helps other sleepless souls discover this peaceful space too. It only takes a moment, but it means the world to us. One quiet tap, one sleepy soul at a time. But there's no need to do anything now. Nothing at all. You've traveled far tonight, farther than most journeys take you. You can allow these thoughts of consciousness and sleep to fade now, like morning mist dissolving into warm sunlight, leaving only the gentle calm behind. Let your breathing deepen. Let your body feel heavier, as if gravity itself is gently inviting you down into the mattress, into the pillows, into complete release. If sleep comes, let it carry you like a leaf floating down a quiet stream, smoothly, inevitably, into a realm where time and weight no longer matter. If your eyes are still open, the next video is waiting for you, ready to continue the journey. But if they're closed, stay there. Stay in the darkness that feels safe and warm. Tomorrow, your subconscious will still be there. Problems will still exist. But tonight belongs to rest. Rest well, peaceful dreamer. And remember, your sleeping mind knows what your waking mind forgot. Solutions await in the quiet darkness. Dream deeper with bedtime science. Good night.